Hello, welcome to Security Policies Weekly Meeting. I will go to the agenda. On the agenda today, nothing for follow-ups or demos. Issues for playing breakdown, we have toggle scan result policies to fail open or fail close. Grant has written in, customers are challenged today with adopting scan result policies. We are working on to improve the logic. Another common challenge is the globally defined policies don't work uniformly if the project is not properly configured.
Hey Alexander, I can hop in too. I'm sorry I'm running in behind here.
No worries. Um, yeah, if you want, otherwise I can continue.
Yeah, no, I don't mind speaking to it. So yeah, I think that this is an epic that you all have probably seen or we've talked about to some degree. But I think it's in a good spot to move into planning breakdown. Um, so I wanted to talk through it a little bit today. Essentially, our policies today fell closed by default. So we have security and compliance teams. They're trying to enforce scan result policies, and in many cases they want to ensure compliance. They want to make sure that if you're enforcing that, if a critical or high severity dependency scanning finding is detected, we don't want that merge request to be merged. So in certain cases, that's critical. We want to be able to do that. But when it comes to adopting policies, it can become a bit burdensome when the reality is that you're trying to enforce these policies across thousands of projects, and it gets there's a lot of nuance. There are cases where it doesn't work as planned in certain projects, and it ends up putting the burden back on the security and compliance teams to go in, see that there's approval required, try to figure out why approval is required, see if that does actually require some action on their end or not. And with the noise and um, I guess the friction that comes with that, it just kind of leads to them just hitting approve on a lot of things when they haven't really gone too deeply into it. Um, so to trust these policies, I think especially when they're adopting at first, they need something that kind of works a little bit more out of the box and helps them to reduce risk to some degree, and then kind of elevate the enforcement over time. So they want something that's a little bit more dynamic. So what we're proposing here is that you could create a particular policy and have this option to fail open, so that it's kind of like it's a little bit more flexible. It still blocks if there are findings that are detected, but if, for example, a scanner is not properly configured, then it will fail open. We'll say, okay, this project isn't there yet. We're going to keep working to ensure that scanners are enforced properly, but we're not going to penalize you if it's not. So an example here is that from a customer I was just speaking to last week, if for some of her team's projects, they're using Maven dependency scanning, but Maven does not currently support Android SDK. In another project, they're using Spotbugs, but Spotbugs does not support Gradle 8. So in those cases, there's kind of nothing they can do. They're just approving things, and that's just more work on them. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it. We proposed in that epic that it's just a settings toggle, and then the fail open option. We have a few scenarios that we want to consider. The ideal is that this is if there are scanners that are not properly configured or the artifact file is not produced. In that case, we'll ignore and not block and require approvals. Um, I think there's a case too about if the number of eligible approvers is not properly set, we'll ignore in that case. And then I think the harder, more complex piece is there are probably cases we're not 100% sure of, but I think if there are ways to kind of say there's a bucket of things we're not sure of yet, like let's fail open, let's default to failing open, and then like for failing, when we block approvals, let's be sure that there's some reason to block. Let's focus on that being the criteria for when we actually block if the policy is set to fail open. And then we would continue to fail closed. If the policy is set to fail closed, we continue to operate kind of as we do today. So yeah, if you have questions now, let me know, or feel free to share them there, and have moved that into planning breakdown, and we can make sure we get people assigned to kind of help work on that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Moving on to other discussions. Grant, you have the next one.
Oh, me again. So I was kind of curious. I know Archer is out. I'm interested in our progress on the policy scoping experimental feature and any challenges that we're seeing that remain. I think that this is one that this feature, while it's experimental, I think we'll have it in a better place to go to GA sooner than the pipeline execution policy. So just want to get a sense of anything that is left. Group security policy enforcement of projects without pipelines. Maybe this was it. Okay, anyway, that's it's just an open question. So I don't know if anyone here has anything, or we need to wait on our tour. Anybody? Alexander, do you know anything from your end? I think we were talking about it.
Maybe I can verbalize the comment that I made. So basically, the Epic has two open issues, and one of them is still in development. And I was asking if we can move the other issue, which is the group security policy enforcement on projects without pipelines, to a follow-up Epic, maybe, because we haven't refined it yet. So that would not block us from doing a GA. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm digesting this. Support existing policies as we introduce. Okay, yeah, I agree that that first one should be in scope. I think maybe that's what was confusing, is I wasn't sure what this other issue was yet. Group security policy enforcement on projects without pipelines. Okay, yeah.
Is this one, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
is this one related to the other issue we work on? To enforce policies without pipelines? I can take a look on this one. It's maybe it's related to one fix we did.
Yeah, I see I'd commented in here to the CSM about what we're working on with policy scopes, but yeah, okay, I'll take an action as well. Maybe Marcos, you and I can take a look at it and see if there's anything that we feel is in scope for the GA release here, and then
Okay.
otherwise we'll follow up the discussion there and move it out. Yeah, I'm just not up on that one. Yeah, thanks Sashi for that follow-up item. That's my bad. I didn't realize he had posted that. Okay, and then the last discussion item I wanted to share is just as an FYI that I'm also acting PM for compliance. So just a heads up, I'm going to be working with two teams again. So I'll need to lean on you guys a little bit more in the weeds, kind of the feature development. So want to at least give you a heads up. If you need anything, please know that there's probably too many to-dos I'm trying to balance. So just ping me if I'm not following up on something that is blocking. Like, I do want to unblock you guys. So don't hesitate to just DM me if I'm kind of falling off on something. And if there are things that you feel like you can move forward without me, please do so. It helps too, I think, if there are scenarios where we've got a few options to balance between, if you can lay those out for me, that's going to help me move quicker in kind of making a decision, just summarizing what you need. I think that helps. So if you can put a little prep into those things, or feel free to DM, if you've got something that you want to go deeper on or have a sync on. I think I'll need to find a way on my end to be more efficient and make sure I'm also, giving you guys all that you need. But yeah, I just want to give you a heads up on that.